Why, hello there. Hello, everyone. Paul Tranny here. Good to see ya. Hopefully everybody had a wonderful weekend. It's good to see ya. Hello, Alyssa, Michelle, Annika, Clarissa, Mercurial. Welcome. We're going to dive into today's creative challenge. Welcome, everybody. If you're joining me elsewhere, just want to say hi and go over to behance.net/Adobe Live. We'll get this party started. All right, so we're going to do photo to illustration. Because again, I don't know if you're like me where you have like identity crisis. You're like, oh, what is, am I an illustrator? Do I do photo stuff? Like, what do I do? And this is marrying the two because it's fun. So that is the goal, and I'm sure we'll have a good time. So welcome, everyone. Let's kind of switch over to my screen. And I take it everything sounds good, too. Alrighty, folks. Let's switch over. How am I feeling after the vaccine? I'm feeling fantastic. My arm was sore all weekend. You know, so this arm is immune to the coronavirus, but this one isn't because I only got one of the shots. But yeah, my arm was just sore for the whole weekend. But otherwise, I'm good. Thank you so much for asking. Hopefully today finds you well. Sean and Honey K and Chad's in the house. Good to see you, Chad. So right in here, we've done a number of challenges. We optimized Photoshop. We've merged images together. So that was compositing. Did some photo filters. Dived into a little bit of Lightroom as well. We painted with light and shadow, and now today is all about sort of photo to illustration. So we're going to turn a photo into textured line drawing using brushes and filters. We will start with filters, but just go ahead and click there. I don't know why it never really works for me, but it worked a second ago, and actually, you know what? You'll find the file if you click Get Started. It's also in Discord, but just go ahead and open that up, and this is what you'll have. Feel free to use your own photo. That would be great, too. All right. Get all the vaccines like a Captain America. That sounds good to me. Sure, why not? I hope everyone is healthy and happy. This lady looks pretty healthy, but we're going to go ahead and play with this photo because it will be fun. All right. So you can see off to the side, photo. It's just a pixel-based layer. We can always duplicate a layer or jump a layer. As a lot of people say, we say Command-J. Boom, and then we have sort of our backup, and then we have one we can play with. Okay. Another way to sort of protect the original pixels is convert it to a smart object. Okay. Not all filters and effects will work with smart objects. Let's actually roll through and see what we have and what we don't have. Oh, look at that. Never mind. We're so good. Okay, so here's a case where when you render a flame, picture frame, or tree, you actually have to do that on a pixel-based layer. But since this is a smart object, it won't work. So if anything is ever grayed out, just take a look and see if you're on a text layer, shape layer, something that's not a pixel-based layer. That's all you need to know. All right. Cooley's in the house. Muriel, I see you over there. Welcome. Okay, so we'll go down. We did some neural filters, so that was fun. But let's actually jump into Filter Gallery. We'll do this really fast. This has been around a while. Clicking in here, let's zoom out. I've actually already been playing with these. I'm not sure what yours will look like, but you'll have a number of options off to the side, right? So you'll have all these amazing filters. We used to have these in one long drop-down list, but this actually works out much better. You can kind of get a glimpse as to what you're gonna get. So if I go with ink outlines, we get a little thumbnail, and we can see how it gets applied there. Right? I like going into Sketch and taking a look at some of these. This is interesting. You're probably like, where the heck is this color coming from, right? What? Why is it turning orange? Is that the case? Like, what the heck? What is going on? Let's just click. I should click cancel. It's my foreground and background color. So if you actually flip those to say black and white, or just like a dark color and then a light color, that's where those colors are coming from. So just so you know, if you're kind of curious as you go back in here, like, wow, now it's red, it's because red's in my foreground color. And you can see how that works. So you go to reticulation, right? It's going to colorize based on our foreground and background color. Some of these, as we take a look at this halftone pattern, I know it's not an illustration look, but right over here, oftentimes you're going to want to play with the strokes, the size of the strokes, right, and other options. So right in here, you can see this lovely halftone pattern and what it does. But we'll go into, we'll try a couple more of these. All right. Hello, everyone. If you guys have questions, I'm just clicking on some of these. I will probably go with the note paper or graphic pen. Let's try graphic pen. Boom. There we are. Graphic pen. Click OK. Right. Again, you could always go with black and white if you want to, but you can see since it's protected, there we have that filter gallery, right, that we can work with. So that's an easy way to do things. I would rather draw myself, so that's what we're going to do next. Okay. Right, and then we'll combine both of these together. So let's go back to this original. Let's create a new layer by clicking the new layer icon. And right up here, so this is the layer we're going to draw on this layer, please. There we go. Just a new layer to draw on. In this case, we'll switch this to white. And we're just going to kind of do some fun outlining, right? It's like this will be cool. Hello, Umacorns in the house. Steve is here. Welcome, Steve. And we will select the brush. Okay, so this is getting like our first chance as part of this daily creative challenge to kind of work with brushes, right, in a more elaborate way. I often want to go up here and then I'll just do reset tool, or you could reset all the tools, right? What's meant by that are, well, all the tools, but reset tool, that'll reset it back to whatever you guys had. I don't know what you had, but we'll change it, give it a size of about 13. We can crank up this hardness. We can do the same thing on the canvas as we do the opening bracket, closing bracket. Closing bracket makes it larger. I'm sorry I don't have Keycaster on. Maybe I'll turn on Keycaster. But now that should, so yeah, you see behind my head, I apologize, all the keys that I'm pressing, right? So we can see it's going to make that brush larger and then smaller based on those brackets, okay? Something I don't use a lot, I don't even remember what the shortcut key is because I never use it. Anyway. If you actually hold, so let's just go ahead and click and drag. You can see what it's doing right there, right? It's just painting. We can see the brushes in here. We can see the brush properties. Let me just open this up, or the settings. Okay, I don't know why the spacing got a little screwed up, so I'm just going to go ahead and tighten up that spacing. See how it's actually making it a little chunky? Anytime there's anything off, you can always go in here and just check these properties. The hardness, the spacing, things like that. Okay, so we'll just put that up there. Bam, like that. And let's see what we got now, right? So we can start to paint and resize. Guess what? We hold down the shift, open and close bracket. So the same keys will make it soft. Shift closed bracket is going to make it hard. So that's what I typically use. Anyway, let's just go ahead and switch it up. Let's make this smaller, and we're just going to outline her, right? We're going to just have some fun drawing on this particular layer. So I'm going to make it about 15 pixels in size, and then we can start to draw, right? And what I'm going to do is like outline her. And depending on what you have, we're going to be kind of loose with this because I think it's just going to look cool that way. But it might be still like a little rough. Like, I get it. Might be a little rough as you draw, right? And what's going on there is like I only have my smoothing set to 10%, right? And what I can do, rather than having those sort of rough strokes, I could take that up to 50%, right? And watch what happens when I click. There's a lag, and now look how much smoother that gets, like around her chin and right up here and with her eyes. So turn on smoothing. You're well on your way to being awesome at Photoshop, like I know you are. And all we're doing is like hints of this person's face. Trying to kind of stick with the major elements of the face, right? Not exactly everything. Sure, you can outline everything. But in this case, I'm just kind of jumping in and just doing these nice lines. And again, I love the fact that we have smoothing to make that nice and neat, especially when it comes to the hair. What do? We take this down, just like that, long and flowy and nice. Thank you so much, Sam. If you'd always register for the challenges, as he mentions, like so, just like that. We're going to take this to the next level a couple of different ways, too, just so you know. But let me get her outlined. Smoothing is your best friend. Yeah. And then if you have an iPad, darn it, I have my iPad over there. I always have my iPad like right over there. But I could also use Photoshop on the iPad and then use Apple Pencil to get even smoother lines and even just more accurate lines, because you're actually using a pencil basically, as opposed to using a mouse that's kind of disconnected from your screen. As we go like that. Mouse Jedi. Where are my mouse Jedis out there? As you guys know, I just recently got a Cintiq, and I just love the thing. You would think I was sponsored by them, and I am not. But I'm like, man, this Cintiq has a world of difference. But again, I've spent 20 years just working with the mouse, right? So I'm just have the same amount of comfort with the mouse. But when I get a chance, yeah, I'm going to use that Cintiq. And of course, for these purposes, we're going to use a Cintiq as well. Cool. Doesn't this already look nice? Did you kind of see what's going on there? Just grabbing the essence of this photo, right? I'm not really illustrating. I should have called this tracing, because that's what we're doing here. But it certainly looks good, and the goal is to really get you familiar with and just comfortable using brushes, right? That's all we're doing. All right, there we have it, just like so. Our salons in the house, Matthias. I see you over there on YouTube, right? So this already looks pretty good, in my opinion. We could always like throw a layer in the background that might be black, or you know me, hey, you know what? Let's do gradient. Right, so we have sort of that sort of look. That's what we have initially. The restaurant you went to uses iPads to take your order at your table. I'm really into restaurants that where you take a photo of the QR, you just use the QR code, and you really use your phone is the menu. You know, everybody's on their phones anyways. It's like, hey, might as well use the screen that's right in front of you. Okay, so there that is. That's okay. I still like it with the original behind it. Actually looks pretty good. So we have this done. Fantastic. Any other mouse Jedis out there, huh? Right? You could we could go on continually using this like forever, right? Let's say we want, let's go to the next step. Let's say we want a perfect curve, right? And say maybe you don't consider yourself a mouse Jedi, but you want a nice long curve that fits. Oops, let's just delete that. And let's delete a couple of that, because I actually was on the wrong layer. How dare I? Let's get back up here. I'll even lock this layer on the background just so that doesn't happen. But let's just say, for instance, you don't have you're not confident with your mouse skills. That's okay. Or really, honestly, you just want nice, smooth curves. You're like, hey, you know what? There's a pen tool, Paul. Couldn't I use the pen tool? Well, certainly. Let's take this pen tool. We'll click, click, click out, click like that. So there I have a line. Fantastic. There's my shape. Where does this come from? If we take a look right in here, we're learning together. All right, so check this out. This is fascinating. I'm so glad this is happening. It's right over here. I thought, oh, the properties will appear in the properties panel. It might not always be the case, I guess, huh? But right up here, you could see, this is why yours might not turn out like mine. Yours might turn out like this when you draw it, right? Or your stroke might be off, right? It's not the same thickness, right? What did we have? We had 15. Tap in 15 right there. Hey, guess what? Let's go ahead and round the caps and the corners if there are any, right? And now we have those nice smooth lines we can deal with, okay? Hopefully that works. By the way, if you also have a line that like a vector line that you've drawn, you're going to have a path to that line. So here's another pro tip too, right? So let's go back to the shape. Right here, we will save this path. Doesn't matter its name. We'll go to a new layer. We'll turn that off. For this new path, what you can do is you could say, hey, you know what? I actually want to stroke it with that exact same brush and not give it just an outline. This will become even more clear in a second. But right down here, we can click. Actually, let's go right here. Click up here and then go to stroke path. Right? We created our path. Let's stroke it. Right? Let's stroke it with the brush that we just had created. So there's our brush. We have the settings correct. Click OK. And now technically that's a brush and not a shape. Full-on restaurants and bars happening in New Zealand. Steve, we get it. We're all jealous of you. We're jealous of you. William, you're hilarious. You know that whole trick of being on the wrong layer? Oh yeah, that's my specialty. So, all right, so that's what we've done. We have more brushes and more fun things that we can do as well, because I already think this looks pretty cool. So you could just like take this, say, hey, you know what? This is done. This looks awesome. Let's export it out and post it to Discord, right? Take the size down. It doesn't need to be that big. 900 pixels by 1200. Maybe crop it a little bit better. Maybe do a photo of you. Please do a photo of you. Let's get to know ya. That would be awesome. But I output that one. But we can always go in and have some more fun. Nor, what's a restaurant? What is a restaurant? I guess it's the places that people used to go. Like, I guess you didn't have food. If you didn't have food at home, there was another building you'd go to. Like some other building. Let me open up my paths. Yeah, you'd have to go into an entire separate like building to get food. Yeah, restaurants. It's a crazy concept. I don't know if it's going to catch on. We'll see. Okay, so right up here, we did just a simple brush. Now you get to go crazy. Go ham, as the kids say. I'm sorry, we'll never use that word again. But right in here, we have a number of awesome brushes that you could use. Dry, wet, concept brushes, right? We're going to get one. That's just cool. Probably one that I haven't picked before, and then it'll just turn into a nightmare for what I'm trying to do. Here's Kyle's Dry Media Basic Smudge. I really want a smudge. Ooh, yes, Kyle's Dry Media Rough Smudge Fun. I want to try a smudge brush, basically. All right, that's the goal. Actually, hold on. Let's go back in here. Let me twirl this down. Let me twirl this down. Do I have any others? Ooh, real oils. Impressionist blender. Wet blender. This is going to be nice. All right, let's use this wet blender. So I'm going to take this. This is the key thing. If you select these additional brushes, they're going to have additional settings. Big thing you need to worry about is like making sure you're sampling all layers because you might not see anything. And make sure you're on a new layer, right? And now we can deal with this wet blender, right? Go up here. Remember, it's super wet. Strength set to 90%. And it's going to start sort of blending all those colors together. So now I can act like I'm a painter as I start to just kind of, honestly, kind of like smudge her face. Is this painting? Yeah, Gus, are you making fun of me by saying the word ham? I think you should. Because no. Just no, Paul. Just no. Right? Is this painting? That's my big question to you guys. By the way, I just want to say I'm so happy to be here. It's a good day to be alive. Okay, so we can see what we do. It's kind of like smudging those colors together, right? Let's just change this color. I'm going to show you what finger painting is. Let's change this color to just a yellow. It's just going to have a hint of yellow in it. Right? And we'll turn on finger painting. Finger painting is like you dip your finger back in the color, aka the foreground color, and then you start painting. So you start to get, and that's not the right color, you start to get just a hint of that color. So just do a hint, like a bright spot in her face, right? So we get that brighter spot that it starts with, right? So it's like you're dipping into that white each time, right? So again, that's finger painting. I don't end up using finger painting very much. I just got off a plane this morning and I'm really tired. So I'm like, I'm mixing up my words. That's how I know I'm tired. Guess what? We have a level of detail we can go into. So that's what we're doing, kind of making this smaller, going around the eye, sort of smudging this part. And again, this really isn't painting, it's just smudging. If anybody's like, look what I painted, look at the photo that you smudged. Because that's basically, that's all that's happening. Right? But again, it's Photoshop. It's your Photoshop. You could do with it what you want. So go to it. Right? Okay, so we're going to do some of this. And then we're going to switch it up in a second. I usually like to create new layers as you kind of deal with new subject matter. So now that I'm onto her hair, I'm painting that like so. Guess what? Let's put her back on white or gray. We desperately need to put this on white. Swatches. Ooh, get that up there. Right, so when you click on swatches, nothing happens, but you can grab a swatch and drag it over a gradient and it will change it from a gradient to a swatch, right? And that's what we have now. Now we can continue, like maybe turn that off. We realize what parts we need to kind of work on, right? We know we need to go through the lips and around the nose. Right? Let the man rest. Arsalan, thanks, man. That's so nice of you. I can't, because even when I try to lay down, I'm like, oh, I could do this sort of artwork. Right? And I saw this outline stuff, and I was like, this outline stuff is really cool that some people are making. I want to do it. So, I don't know what to say. So here's a case where I maybe want it a little bit darker. Let's sample that darker color, switch to finger painting, go in here, and I can get just a little bit more dark colors for her nose. That's finger painting. So it actually does help me out right there. I can always turn that off. Okay. And again, all with my mouse. Let's put down a big undercoating. Like so. Heck, let's do this. Let's even, you guys know you want to do this anyways. I want to kind of cheat this a little bit. Let's just take pieces of her face. Boom. Like that. There we go. B for brush. This time we're going to use this brush, the original hard round, and remove. Guess what? I still have... Oh, I actually switched tools. Okay, there we go. Now we have the start of a face. Okay. There we have it. What we could also do is, like, you want to kind of put this on a canvas, and I get it. I need to work on this some more. I really need to work on this. I just need to... I need to make this more of a complete illustration. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna go to town. Again, I really like this brush that I was dealing with. It was a wet blender. Is that correct? Sample all layers. Do your thing. Do your thing. Okay. Yeah. There you have it. It needs more help. I get it. All right. Desperately need more help with this. There we go. A little better if we just crop it in tight. All right, you guys get the idea. That's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I'm over on time. Thank you.